This would be a good time to realize that my drinking is completely getting out of hand. Uh, this is in my senior year, and I want to talk about one other thing before we get started. Is that I didn't I didn't come clean on one thing that I about 15 years old, and we were all out at the lake camping and staying overnight, getting ready for the Fourth of July, and that just accelerated my drinking. And boy, when I got out there drinking and it was night, I just be lost. I didn't know what was going on. Actually, it's just crazy how that would happen to me. But anyway, the law picked me up, got a minor's in possession or whatever it is, drinking, and nothing came of it really. My dad had to come pick me up, stuff is like that. Found myself not celebrating the 4th of July, but raking hay with a hangover. So just wanted to give you the little heads up on that. But back to my senior year, we were, all out. We had a few deer camps that we could go to that were uh, owned by different kin folks and different friends. And everybody that was in our little crew or little crowd, we would go out to a deer camp out in the country, and you could get down and dirty and not have to worry about the cops and all that good stuff. And that probably saved us, especially me, a lot of headache and misery because you know being on the road the way I was drinking, it was not. Oh, it would have been rough. I did have to drive home at times, but most time we'd stay over and everything like that. But uh, I'm gonna get into my senior year in the football season because I relate kind of areas and time uh, eh, when I do that. So we had started our senior year and everything was going on. Had a new head coach, all that good stuff was all. Didn't know if we were excited or not, but uh, all the things that we were doing before, junior year, sophomore year, we just picked it up and added to. We were, you know, that's the way it was. So anyway, I went on into the senior year and just I had a really good senior year. Everything was positive, and my playing was just you're getting older, you're getting stronger, you're getting more experience, so you're playing better. It didn't seem that the alcohol was taking effect, that it would hurt me or make me play worse. I'm not, I'm sure it did, but at the time when you're thinking about it, this is all really making me do what I was doing because alcohol encouraged me to do whatever it was. Made me it made me feel better. It made me do better. It made me think better. But all in reality, we know exactly which way it was. It was just that it had the uh, power to override my regular way of life. So it just enhanced me to do this drinking, and it just seemed to be more and more. So anyway, we went on through the season and had a decent season, and we went through that, and when got into spring, and I was gonna play baseball, but I decided, or I think I might have got in a position where I didn't get to play because it wasn't anything about my drinking, but it was something that I had done I went down and worked out with a college at the time on a football kind of tryout, and anyway, it gave me when I got back, I found out I was ineligible. So anyway, we rocked on into the in May. This is May, and I hadn't really heard of anybody. Had one offer really, and nobody else had gone. I was not a big guy. I was small, but I was a very good athlete. I thought in doing what I was doing and playing football. But anyway, but I was really getting, uh, worried about not being able to go to that next level, and I didn't know exactly what in hell I was going to do. Really, that's the way it was. Uh, I didn't think about going to school unless I was going to play football. That's the only way it was. So other than that, I left it wasn't wide open. It was closed and narrow. But anyway, finally, in late May, uh, I did. I went down and visited a college, and we talked and everything. And I wasn't big enough. It wasn't really anything to fit in this college, but they were going to give me a tryout to see if I could even be there. So that's where what took place, and I had kind of made my mind up that that's where I'm headed. So, but everything was going okay. Graduated, got through. Got my diploma. Wow, that was a big deal. Anyway, so we went from there, but I left the area and I got a job doing a roughnecking, and my uncle had helped me with, and it was something that I had never done before, and so I went off to around the Monroe or area or something like that. We started working, and it was just a whole new experience. It wasn't anything that I really liked at all, but it was hard work. It was a hard work, and 7 days a week, and I made a good bit of money though during that time. But I was working with older guys, and they like to drink like I like to drink. So it was we had a real wild summer, and I had to report in August to this college. So I could see the end of where I was doing all this, that summer job. So I wasn't going to be too terribly upset about things that were going on, that if it was too hard or too this. But we did do some heavy duty drinking. But anyway, the thing that come out of that, I gained about 30, 40 pounds. I gained some weight. I don't know what it was, it was by maybe just growing into it, but I weighed, a lot. My weight was a lot heavier when I reported into the college, the two-a-days and all that. So anyway, I got into there, and we're moving into another territory of growing up and going to another area where you don't know anybody, and you're getting going, and you're kind of settling in, and we got in a dorm and all that, getting just all set up to go through two-a-days, and then we got ready to do it, man. And it was, talking about, it's a whole nother level up there, and I'm dealing with some pretty good athletes, pretty good ball players. And, they were working for the same thing I was. They had scholarships, most of them, and I didn't. I was like a walk-on, like I said. So I really had to work harder and meaner and tougher, and go through a lot of stuff and hang in there and not give up. And all this stuff was going on. I just kind of fell into another group of people, athletes and other guys, and it was on. The drinking just got better. We were doing it just more, and it was a wild time. But I'm as a freshman, I was a walk. Like I was a walk on, but I also, I was a person that couldn't play any games. I was a red shirt, what they call it, and all I could do was practice. So I just worked my butt off and did what I had to do to try to earn a scholarship. That was my first uh, thing that I needed to do to get them to pay for my education, and it wasn't going to be easy because I had to make the team. And so anyway, it rocked on for the first year. But I had a great uh, first year, red shirt year. I was able to do in practices, and we would go against the number ones and everything. Anyway, I did good enough that they kept me on, and but my grades were not very good. I still doing out there partying and everything, and I got kind of real lazy in my spring semester, and man, I dropped down, and it was very close there. I nearly actually did fall under the point average that they could even offer me a scholarship, but I got a little deal going in the summer, and so I got got back on top of that, and they, lo and behold, they offered me a scholarship, and that may just tickled me just pink. So I'm back in the saddle. I know I'm gonna be there next year. I got things going, uh, and met a lot of good friends from different towns and everything when you come together like at college. So I was excited about about going to getting through that freshman year and be able to come back and really be able to do something as a player, and that kind of accomplishment. Uh, as a redshirt freshman, I'd be a freshman again, but I was able to get on the football field and play in games and everything. So anyway, I think that's where I'm gonna kind of leave it off. But everything in my drinking, uh, it has just uh, exaggerated. I mean, I'm blacking out. Because you're in college, you're out there. Uh, you have hours that you have to be there and be accounted for. But at night, things like that, you're kind of on your own, and you're having to be responsible for your own well being. But no, I just was had a lot of buddies that we would go out to Monroe and go out to different places, and it was not a it was fun, it was exciting, it was good times, but it all it was the alcoholism, or the alcohol was wearing on me and beating me up, and have a few run-ins with the law. I never anything that would get uh, me in jail or anything like that, but it was always something. And then I had to go through things with the coaches that I got in trouble with, or that kind of stuff. And also you had to had to be into for bed check and everything like that. So anyway, it was kind of a life that was disciplined, but most of it was things that I could really have a good time with. But like I said, I was blacking out. I come into and different places and things of that nature. It was a problem. I get to the nitty gritty. It was a problem, but I didn't want. I never looked at it to be a problem. It was just something that I'd overcome on a daily basis, or whenever it happened. Sobering up, or whatever it was. But in reality, I look back, and my health was not at the highest level it could be, and had a lot of, it was just difficult when you really get down to it. But I tell you what, I'm gonna leave it right here because my time. I don't want to get too many minutes behind me, and y'all just listen and wear yourself out listening. So I will be back, and I will be talking about probably right into my freshman redshirt year, and also my sophomore year, and how I will be. And then I might come up with some things that I reminisce on things that I can really share with that trouble wise, and situations that alcohol had put me in and things of that nature. But I'll tell you what, the next 3 or 4 years, when I get into my up to my senior year, it's got some really difficult situations that I had to get through and go through and got through. And it was all by the using and and then I'll touch into where I kind of moved into the drug world, and it ain't good. It's not good. But I'm gonna tell my story, and I'm gonna tell it like it's supposed to be. I know I hem haw around a little bit about this, but I want everybody to understand, and I want you to know that this is an ongoing situation where if you touch into this segment here and you hear something that might give you a heads up on what are you doing and what's going on with a friend of yours or yourself, by all means, really listen to the situation and it will help you. I guarantee you it will give you an opportunity to look at yourself and think about things and open the door to maybe what you are going through, and then all of a sudden you might have a something that a God wink that, hey, this might be a situation, this might be a time that I might, hey, get where this guy's going and get some help or get somebody to talk to. But anyway, like I said, I will be back, and I have enjoyed this fully. I am grateful that I am able to be sober and talk to y'all straight up. Talk to you later.